And it's always like that. Wherever you from, you will get hated the most. You know, most rappers die in their own city, man. It's a fact. And you know, you have haters who was in school with you and they mad because they was in that third grade class with you, but they don't have the same hustle as you. You know, they hate you for no reason. They hate you for your success. If you was a local rapper and you didn't have much, they would love you. You know, and these people, you develop hatred in your own city. Niggas gonna hate you in your city. You know, and I advise everybody, once they get money, get out their city, man, because that's where the hatred gonna come. You know, people be like, that's how I was at first, you know. Nigga ain't running me. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. I'm boosted. I don't bag down from nothing. Nah, it's not about it being bagging down. It's about being smart, man. It's about being here for your kids and being smart, you know. You know, those are the guys who want to hurt you, those guys who've been looking at you your whole life and building up envy. They build up envy to where they can't do nothing now. They can't stop you from getting money. You don't want to be their friend or associate. You can't come in their crew and get any kind of money. They're too big for you to even try to beef with. So you know what? I'll just take your life. That's how the crooks look at it, bro. That's how evil get in them so much to where they say, I just won't see him dead. It's the only way we can get rid of him, man. And them be the people in your own city who develop the envy for you. You go somewhere else, man, you're a star. You're a star to them. You're a celebrity to them. You know, and that's just facts, man. It's just facts. And I'm gonna keep saying it, you know. If I was you, I'd get out the city, man. That's just how it be, man. It be those guys, man, who develop so much hate because they not you, they want your spot. It's all about the people wanting your spot, man. It be the guys who, you know, once dap you down when you had one song out. But when and they develop envy because they go home. They get out the car with their friend, with their other partner, and he listening to your music. They walk in the house. They girl listening to your music. They go downstairs. The kids doing a dance to your music. Now they are hypnotized with hatred. They are hypnotized with hatred. They didn't go downstairs. They niece ain't even spoke to them when they walk in the house. They just singing Boosie. They niece ain't didn't say, hey, uncle, or nothing. They just singing Boosie. They get back in the car and go to the store with their cousin in the car. They say, oh, that's a car like Boosie. That's a car like Boosie. Okay, they let son get in the car. Dad, I want some change like Boosie. All right, now you hypnotized with hatred. I'm tired of hearing about him. I'm tired of hearing about this guy. I know what I'm going to do. And that's how it starts, man. They get hypnotized. They get hypnotized, man.
Hypnotized with hatred.
I bought every last one of my siblings a car.
Really?
Bought my mama a house. My mama 2 cars. My daddy a car. Help him with his bills. Help mama with her bills. Help my sister take care of her 3 kids. Her 3 kids live with me. I go there, sit with the teachers, go to teacher conferences. I do all this stuff. And it seemed like the more you do, the more that they don't like you.
Why?
I overlooked how much my sister, you know, started disliking me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I never done nothing to her. I don't want to get emotional, you know what I'm saying? But me and my sister got the same mama and same daddy, and we grew up together. And, you know, she just, you work so hard to make all this money and to have a good life for yourself. And then the people who you want to share it with, they just change on you. And it's hurtful because people say it's lonely at the top, but damn, this lonely, you know what I'm saying? People shouldn't feel like because I work my butt off that they deserve my money and they deserve my time and they deserve to tell me who I can and can't hang around and they can be so entitled. Family shouldn't be like that. Now all of a sudden, I'm the bad person, but I wasn't a bad person when I was doing backflips for you. I didn't have no boundaries. You can talk to me how you want to talk to me. You can trigger me. You can make me cry. You can mess up fights. You can do all this stuff. As soon as I tell you no to something, I can buy you a car, put you in a house, pay all your bills.
It ain't enough.
People don't want what.
Yeah, she got an obligation to share the wealth. We sat here, we struggle together. Took baths and bottles of water, rest, roaches, all that. Yeah, she obligated. His damn friends obligated. She doing everything for them. So yeah, I feel like I'm obligated.
What is it you think she's not doing for the family? What is the... You're making it sound like there's a real financial hardship. Describe what you're talking about.
She's not doing nothing. Nothing. She's not doing nothing for family. And she do little oohs and ahs for our parents or whatever, but barely nothing because my mama still clocking the clock at FedEx. She don't want to work. Gloria got y'all believing this fake ass, imaginary ass thing where she retired them. No, she did not. My dad retired because his time was up. She supposed to have retired my mama, but she didn't. My mama still clocking the clock at FedEx.
Why does she owe it to you to support you and to support the family beyond what she wants to do? It's her money, right?
Because don't go on no interviews, talk about our struggle. You want to do that's not right. You don't sit here and talk about struggle, sit here and struggle with. It's not one sibling, you got 9 other siblings. She get her money just because she got plenty other other in Memphis she getting money to. I got 2 siblings staying down there in Atlanta with her that she treat them like housemaids. Y'all keep on painting this picture like she's just a good person, an upright person. She's not.
So here's something that Glow pretty publicly did last year when your dad, you said he retired. His time was up, so he retired. And she bought him a brand new Jaguar as a retirement gift, right? And we saw this back in November. I mean, that's pretty nice to give someone a Jaguar, no?
Yeah, what picture of the Jaguar do you have?
I just know it's a white Jaguar.
What evidence do you have of the brand new Jaguar?
Are you saying that the Jaguar was not, she didn't actually
It
give him a
was
Jaguar?
nowhere near new. What evidence do you have of that brand new Jaguar?
There was an Instagram video
And
of
of
it.
course, she gonna try to make it look good for y'all. My dad over there broke as a mother right now.
Let's say she has $2 million. How much of that does she owe to you and the rest of the family of that $2 million?
She can get all of it like $2,500 a piece.
How much?
$2,500.
25, like, that's it, just 2,500 flat, or is that a...
$2,500 flip.
I think she would jump at that.
I think if that's all you want, I think Glow might jump at that.
But imagine her being on for 4 years and not giving us zero. None at all.
What does your mom think about you going public with this whole thing?
At the end of the day got to end. I don't give a
You know, and she mentioned how, you know, the reason, you know, black people are unsuccessful amongst other black people is because black people culturally are socialist. And I was like, whoa, whoa, what is going on? Black people are socialists? Wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Yes, people feeling like you owe them. No one owes you nothing in this world. No one owes you nothing. Nothing, as Glorilla's sister said, nothing. No one owes you nothing. No one owes you nothing. And I think that's at the core. If black people can understand that at the core, then we can get past all of this foolishness. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so because capitalism rewards capitalism. So when a community has an Ubuntu mindset or a socialist mindset in a capitalist society, you know what I mean? It's clashing. It's never, because if you have a socialist mindset in a capitalist society, you'll never be rewarded. Capitalism only rewards capitalism. Capitalism doesn't reward socialism. So you'll always be broke. Hello? Like, come on, wake up. This is it. 777, rack them up. This is it. This is the core of the mentality. This is, we peeling the onion. We peeling the onion here. And then when you think about it, you know, you got black rappers getting killed in their own hoods. You know, professional black athletes being pressed and pressured and shamed and sued by their family members for not giving enough. You got black business owners being slandered for quote unquote selling out and not quote unquote giving back to the community. You know what I mean? And then I'm just like, where does this come from? Where does this come from? You know what I'm saying? You know, black people complain all the time about, you know, the crabs in the barrel. Well, who the crabs and who's the barrel? You know what I mean? What is really going on? He mentions how there's an African proverb principle, you know what I'm saying, where it's called Ubuntu, and it's I am because we are. It's a very communal proverb, and so I was just like, well, damn, you know, black people for decades and almost probably centuries have always complained about living in a Eurocentric capitalist world and how, you know, it's designed, you know, the whole victim mentality thing, you know what I'm saying, like the whole whatever, you know what I mean. It's like, you know, you play the game how the game go. You know, if you want to win, you got to beat them at their own game. You feel me? Like, that's the only way this is going to go. And so I'm like, well, okay, if communalism and socialism is inherent within the black culture, then is capitalism a European ideology? Is capitalism a white thing? Like, what are we doing? What is this? You know what I mean? So there tends to be a success paradox, where you know, the one that makes it is supposed to, that one wave is supposed to raise the tide. It's supposed to lift everybody. That one who makes it is supposed to lift everybody up. And it's not enough to just be it's not enough to just be happy for them. You know what I mean? They gotta do for everybody else. You know what I mean? Which is very, very unfair to that person who, you know, worked hard and worked their butt off to get to where they are. You know, so what this is saying is that black people have abandonment issues, pretty much. Like, it is, and you know, but that could very well be a thing, because as trauma-ridden as the black community is, as in a lot of the black culture, the black American culture is built on trauma. Let's keep that a beam. It's very plausible and reasonable to think that, you know, culturally black people have a lot of abandonment issues, and abandonment issues show up in various ways. I think I did a video a long time ago on the types of abandonment issues and how abandonment issues really come to the surface and show themselves. We're not going to get into that, but so when that one becomes successful and leaves, it's a form of abandonment, and black people take that personally. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, it's going against the communal, tribal, African cultural mindset. You know what I mean? I am because we are, and that kind of automatically goes against it. So there's a success tax on successful black people. You know what I mean? They're expected to give back. They're expected to give all that they have, because all that they have is owed to the community and to the family. And because it's the family, everything. Like, when none of them were shooting in the gym, none of them was up late at night grinding, figuring it out, getting it out the mud. None of them were doing any of that, right? But yet, when they become successful, they owe you everything, right? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that they think that they owe them everything, that's why whatever quote unquote little bit that they give them is never enough. That's why it's never enough. You see what I'm saying? You got to prune these people, man. You got to prune them. And sometimes you can't just prune them individually. You got to just you just got to throw out the baby with the bathwater, like just get them out of here. And I think I'm pretty sure that's what Glorilla's doing right now. I think the reason black people hold so firmly to this mindset and this attitude is because it was ingrained in us from our childhoods. You know what I mean? This is how a lot of the slaves survived, by taking care of each other and helping each other up. You know what I mean? And so in the process of helping each other up, when one comes up, then we try to pull each other down. You know what I mean? Like it backfires in a way. It's perverted. In and of itself, it's a pure concept, but it gets perverted in an oppressive state. You see what I'm saying? Once again, we are a trauma-ridden culture, right? So there's a lot of abandonment issues. When there's an abandonment issue, there's a lack of trust. And a lot of pooling, when you pool things together, that requires what? It requires trust, right? And so it's hard to pool things together if the people don't trust each other. You know what I mean? And then of course, a lot of people have been burnt by one, and people who don't trust can't be trusted either, right? Like, that's another thing. So once again, it comes to the mindset. You have to use the communalism to protect yourself from the capitalism. You know what I mean? Yeah, buddy, you seen it coming. You know what time. You know what time it is. Glorilla's sister. You know, it's funny. This kind of fell in my lap because I had the way I came to this topic. I was watching another YouTuber, Crimson Cure, one of my favorite YouTubers, and she mentioned, and this was like an entirely unrelated topic. And so I was like, what is this about? And then lo and behold, the Glorilla sister situation pops up. And I'm just like, wow, like this is just all coming together. It's just all coming together. So I researched, I remember, and in the YouTuber I was watching, Crimson Cure, she mentions how, so to say that it's unfair would make it sound evil, right? But then again, they make capitalism sound evil. You know what I mean? But so here, once again, here's the paradox. So let's look into it. So there exists a fundamental structural and cultural mismatch between African communal principles, the Ubuntu principle, and Western individualistic capitalism. The mismatch creates a success paradox for Black people in the diaspora, where individual economic advancement often triggers communal friction, social extraction, or physical vulnerability. So let's look at the levels. There's levels to it, right? Let's look at the different levels. So level 1, the observable symptoms, social and physical pressures. So the proximity peril, violence and rapists. Cultural expectations often demand that successful individuals remain physically accessible to their quote-unquote hood to prove authenticity. In a capitalist framework, wealth usually buys distance and security. Here, that distance is stigmatized as abandonment, leading to lethal vulnerability. The success tax. Family networks often view a high earner's wealth as a communal win. As they say, if he win, we all win. A communal win to be redistributed. This leads to the first generation burden, where legal battles arise because the athletes, for example, the athlete's individual property rights clash with the family's perceived collective stake. You know what I mean? The authenticity test. When Black entrepreneurs align with mainstream corporate structures to achieve exit level wealth, right, quote unquote selling out, they are often slandered as sellouts. Like I just said, this suggests a cultural definition of success that is suspicious of any growth that moves beyond the immediate community's control. It's a control issue. There you have it. So I remember being leery of I think, was it Carol's daughter? Is that the hair care product? Carol's daughter. I remember Carol's daughter was real popular in the 2000s and whatnot. For all the shea butter girlies. 777. rack them up. Carol's daughter was real popular. And then I found out that they quote unquote sold out, right, to a bigger corporation. And I was just like, nah, I ain't buying this stuff no more. The authenticity test, there is a question to that, and there is a thing to that, because the authenticity doesn't necessarily have to do with selling out to a quote unquote white corporation, but it's just sometimes it's good to have when it comes to certain products, it's good to have that authenticity. You know what I'm saying? That down home relatableness, because then they can tailor the products to your needs. They're more relatable to you, whereas a big quote unquote white mega corporation might not have their finger on that pulse. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's a different kind of thing. You know what I mean? But okay, so those are the observable symptoms. Let's get to level 2, the philosophical foundations, the software. Let's get into the brain. Let's get into the psychology and why these people are the way they are. You know what I'm saying? So Ubuntu versus socialism. So Ubuntu in and of itself, the Ubuntu principle, I am because we are. That's an old African proverb, right? And this is kind of like, this is the kind of mentality and mind state that is passed down from the the slave to our present day Black community, right? It's a relational ethic focusing on interdependences. You know what I'm saying? So it's like each one teach one. We all take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? All we got is us type deal. You know what I mean? So yeah, Ubuntu, I am because we are, is a relational ethic focusing on interdependence. The distinction, while it shares a collectivist spirit with socialism, Ubuntu is a spirit, or in terms of moral and relational, whereas socialism is a structure. It's more political based. So once again, so you have the mindset of socialism versus the structure of socialism. You know what I mean? So I guess in this particular conversation, socialism wouldn't necessarily apply. It's not Glorilla's sister is not a socialist structure. It's more of a socialist mindset, and that's what's crippling Black people. The friction in capitalism, the individual is the primary unit of value. In Ubuntu, the relationship is the primary unit. So in capitalism, it's just me, myself, and I did this. You know what I'm saying? I grinded to get this. I got it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? It's all me. Whereas, Ubuntu says, you know what I'm saying, we did this. You didn't do this by yourself. We helped you. You owe us, right? Therefore, the Ubuntu frictions as a cultural socialism that rewards redistribution over the individual accumulation required by capitalism. You see that? So the origins of capitalism. So while trade and markets are universal, modern industrial capitalism emerged from this specific European legal and cultural conditions. So the takeaway systems are not culturally neutral. Capitalism was designed to reward the behaviors of the culture that created it. So strategic selfishness, delayed redistribution, and individual leverage. All right. Level 3, the diaspora wealth gap. So are these principles why the Black diaspora struggles? Why do Black people struggle in capitalism as a collective, right? Why? So there's an incentive misalignment. Capitalism rewards compounded growth, wealth retention, and boundary setting, whereas communalism rewards immediate sharing, social harmony, and reputation building. You know what I mean? So obviously there's like I said, there's a misalignment, or like I said, there's a clashing going on. And so I think there is a happy medium. I know in amongst most Africans and West Indians and Caribbean people, there's a thing called the susu, whereas people put their money in a pot, quote unquote, and as the pot grows, the money that you put in grows. And then because when more people put money into the pot, everyone's money grows, and then you can take money out of that to do whatever you need to do. You know what I mean? And you can only take out proportionate to what you put in. So if what you put in grows, what you put in, you can take out along with how much it grows. So it's communal, but it's also capitalistic as well. Compounded growth. It's compounded growth with social harmony. You see what I'm saying? That's the happy medium. But we'll get to that. The handicap effect. If an individual is culturally obligated to redistribute their surplus before it is reinvested, they cannot achieve the exponential growth. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you can't give back to family like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't give back to family like that, because if you just keep giving to family, you'll never have nothing for yourself. And then you'll be back the same place where family is, and they're not gonna help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because if they help you like they claim they help you up. You know what I'm saying? But they don't see it that way. You know what I'm saying? Gaps in refinement, causation versus correlation. Causation versus correlation. So, are these issues caused by African principles, or are they symptoms of poverty culture? Many poor immigrants from various backgrounds exhibit crabs in a barrel behavior due to scarcity, regardless of their specific philosophy. Okay, so it ain't always a cultural communal thing. It's just we poor. We trying to come up, and you came up, so help us, please. You know what I'm saying? I really think that's what it really boils down to. The enclave. The counterexample, other groups, the Jewish, the Chinese, the Lebanese, use communalism as a shield for capitalism. Here we go. Listen, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to write the book. There's other people who wrote the book for you. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? So they use communalism as a shield for capitalism, pooling money to buy property. Why has the Black diaspora experienced communalism as an extractive or a taking away rather than a protective or pooling together?